Alright, don't forget to go ahead and kick that. Hey, what's going on, you guys? Kick that what? Hey, what's going on, you guys? I'm Veggie Rose. Welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time stopping by, don't forget to go ahead and click on that subscribe button. It looks like this, and the little notification bell next to it so that you will be notified every time a new video goes up, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and sweet Saturday. So, first off, before we get into the video, I wanted to say a huge, humongous, ginormous thank you guys for subscribing and for always being so supportive and appreciative. I absolutely love you guys. Thank you guys so much. We hit 10,000 and 3 days later we hit 11,000. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. For people who've been with me for a very long time, thank you. For the new subscribers, welcome. So yes, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a vegan fish sandwich. Not just any old vegan fish sandwich, it's also going to be with a special sauce because we all know that sauce with a sandwich just makes it that much better. So yeah, let's get veggie. All right guys, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're first going to be starting off roasting some tomatoes. You can use canned tomatoes if you like, but I don't know, just for some reason for this sandwich, I want to go all out and actually roast my own tomatoes. Not to mention the oven is already preheated to 400 degrees, so we might as well toss them in there. So I'm just cutting up one small tomato here. All right, so I'm going to be moving our tomatoes into a parchment paper lined cookie sheet or oven pan. And you don't need all of these tomatoes for the dish that we're making. But since we just chopped up a whole tomato, we might as well toss it in there. I'm going to go ahead and spray these guys. Well, that was supposed to be a little lighter, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and spray these guys with a little bit of oil. And I'm going to sprinkle on some coarse sea salt. And then I'm just going to go ahead and also sprinkle on a little bit of garlic powder and a little bit of parsley. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and toss these into the preheated oven. It's been preheated at 400 degrees because that's the same temperature we're gonna do the sandwiches. So we're gonna go ahead and toss it into the oven for about 10 to 14 minutes. Just keep an eye on them because you don't want these to burn. All right guys, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to our tofu. So this is the part of the sandwich that is gonna be our fish. And for this part, we're gonna be using, first I'm gonna go ahead and just lightly salt the outside of our fish. For some reason, this sea salt is very sticky. And then I'm also gonna be using a little pepper. You can do both sides. At the moment, I'm only gonna salt and pepper one side. But if you want a little extra salt and pepper, you can go ahead and do both sides. Here I have a teaspoon of butter, vegan butter of course, and a little bit of garlic powder, and I just whisk that up together. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some of that over top of our tofu, and I'm gonna go ahead and mix that up. You can use your fingers, you can use a brush. I'm gonna go ahead and just simply use my fork. And here I have a leaf, like a nori sheet, I'm sorry. This is a nori sheet that has been cut to the size of our tofu. And I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over. You can again salt and pepper this side if you like. I'm actually gonna go ahead and salt and pepper this side too. And just to add a little flavor because tofu really doesn't have that much flavor on its own. Tofu is pretty bland, so you wanna add flavor to it. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the garlic butter. And again with our nori sheet. And this is what's gonna add that fishy sort of flavor. So I'm gonna go ahead and place this to the side, but you just wanna go ahead and press this down. That butter is actually gonna serve as a sort of adhesive to stick that nori on there. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our batter. So I'm gonna go ahead and add 1/4 cup of flour, and actually I'm gonna go ahead and add a pinch of Old Bay seasoning and a crack of pepper, and then I'm also gonna do a pinch of salt, and I'm gonna go ahead and mix this together. And you're just adding a little bit of extra flavoring into your flour. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and also add in our water And the full recipe will be linked down below with all the exact measurements and all of that good stuff. And I just got some stuff on my shirt, but it's okay. It's okay. Things happen. All right. It's just how we do things real in the kitchen, you know? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put this aside because I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna be using for our batter or for our crumbs. Now, if you guys already know or familiar with the whole fish and chips thing, well, here in the US, chips are actually like potato chips. So I was like, why don't I do like a little twist on the whole fish and chips thing and actually make, oh my goodness, that was extremely loud. So why don't I just go ahead and do like my own take of the fish and chips thing and do breadcrumbs with potato chips. So here we have half a cup of breadcrumbs and half a cup of potato chips just together, and that's gonna be our breading for our fish sandwich. So get it, fish and chips. All right, so this is our breading. You could also crack a little pepper into that if you like. So our tofu is just going in. We're dipping it into this batter. And you just want to make sure that the whole thing is covered and make sure that your nori sheet doesn't come off. You preferably would use a more shallow bowl because mine's is falling apart because the bowl is like so deep on the edges. Oh my goodness, it's getting so messy. Okay, it's all right. So we're gonna go ahead and dip this into our breading. Just make sure that your little tofu fish is completely covered and coated. I'm gonna wash my hands. All right, and just make sure that you kind of like press it to make sure that your breading kind of sticks nicely. And of course, if you want to make more of these sandwiches, you can make double this recipe, triple this recipe. You can make as many sandwiches as you like, but I'm just showing you one because I get a lot of requests for like people who are single, people who are just cooking for themselves. So here we have one single sandwich. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and place our tofu fish guy here onto our parchment paper, and I'm gonna go ahead and just lightly spray some cooking oil over top of it so it can crisp up. I'm actually gonna go ahead and spray the other side as well, and we're gonna go ahead and place this into the oven. It's been preheating at 400 degrees, and we're gonna keep this in the oven for 30 minutes, but we're gonna flip it halfway through so that it could get nice and golden brown on both sides. So while the tofu is in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our sauce. So for our sauce, I have 1 tablespoon of mayo, and this is vegan mayo, of course. I'm also gonna be adding in 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon of dry parsley, and about 1/4 of a teaspoon of lemon juice. And then sriracha to taste. You can do 1 to 2 teaspoons depending on how much spice you like. And then we're just gonna go ahead and whisk this up together, and this is gonna go deliciously into our sandwich. You can go ahead and add a little pepper if you like at this point, but I think that this on its own is really delicious. And I know what you might be thinking. Rose, that's too much mayo and too much sauce for one sandwich, but you're gonna love this sauce and you're gonna wanna save it to make some more sandwiches or just to dip fries or something into. All right, guys, so we've gone ahead and taken our filet out of the oven, and I'm just gonna go ahead and spread some of the sauce, and I'm quickly gonna tell you how you can actually make this sandwich a little healthier. So instead of using vegan mayo, you could actually use some yogurt instead to make the sauce. I'm also gonna be adding on there some red cabbage instead of like lettuce or anything like that, and it's gonna add so much crunch. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and stack on our filet. Look how huge that is. It's like so much bigger than the actual sandwich. Then I'm gonna be adding a few chips, and this is, again, totally optional, and if you're going for the healthier version of this, do not add chips. And then you could also sub out the bread for lettuce, so turn this into a lettuce wrap with a yogurt sauce. But when I make my sandwiches, I like to make my sandwiches like really crazy. And I'm gonna go ahead and add on our tomatoes, which I should have done under the chips, but it's okay. Extra sauce on top and 2 pickles. Again, totally optional with the pickles too. And there you have your ginormous, delicious filet vegan sandwich. So I don't even know. I'm trying to do a taste test cam here, but I couldn't. This is such a big sandwich that I had to like cut in half. You could cut this sandwich in half and feed 2 countries. No, 2 people. Look how delicious. Oh my goodness. This is why I had to do the taste test cam while on the tripod, because it's like, oh my goodness, this sandwich smells incredible. I want one of the pieces that has some of everything. So we're going in. Wow. This is crazy, crazy good. The sauce and all the extra add-ins and all that stuff, so good. To be honest, if I'm being totally honest with you guys, because I usually am totally honest with you, I could go for more sauce. I know people are like, what? More than a tablespoon of mayo? Well, maybe. Just maybe. Oh no, maybe I got a side that didn't have that much, but sauce is good. Sauce is good. Ugh. And you guys, I'm one of those people, I don't even like tofu. I'm just not a fan of tofu. But this right here, this is good. This is some good stuff.